Yep, go ahead.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us on July 12th. It's around 12 o'clock our time here, Mountain Time. We're going to do a quick rundown of a couple of pairs here. So, from starters, I'm going to run down Euro USD and Pound CAD. So, this will be our kind of outlook for what's going to happen next week. So, without further ado, let's get this rolling here. So, here is Euro USD. We're looking at the weekly chart here. I mean, we could take a look at the monthly here, but we're mid-month, so I mean, I think for us here, the weekly and kind of the predictions. I'm gonna say right now, judging by the weekly candlestick, we are at a level of resistance from June 8th's weekly level. But one thing I do want to mention here for the viewers and why I'm bullish that next week is going to be even, we might even approach and surpass the 114 level is, first of all, you guys notice here, wicks and just the lows and stuff, it's higher lows, which is a great indication. Now, this here is what I'm really pumped for, this wick here. Now, this wick basically is higher than the last 3 weeks of wicks here, meaning that this is where orders have the potential to go. Only thing I don't like is there's no lower wick here, but I mean, typically speaking, if there is no lower wick, where lowers can drop, that's like that might be a little bit of a red flag, but in a sense too, I think it also could be a setup for a huge momentum buildup, because that means we have a lot of orders that really wanted to get into the markets the day that the market opened at 3 o'clock our time here. So then you might see a big push up here, fill the wick and go higher, maybe fill this wick here, so at the 1400 levels back on June 8th. So yes, I am bullish weekly, but I mean, let's go down to a smaller time frame and check it out. Sorry, give me a second here. So okay, looking at the daily here, it's a little bit of noise. What I like to see here is we had a huge consolidation level here. This was a span of about 2 weeks of just consolidation. So we can say that this level here has a lot of supply. So this supply here is great, because if there's an opportunity that presents itself, like we were just looking at the weekly, and like I mentioned, there is no lower wick. But the one thing is, maybe this candlestick will create that lower wick, which will tap into the zone here and create something like a liquidity grab and then push further up, right? Week, 5 days, 5 long days of trading, so anything in those time frames can happen within that weekly candlestick. But the one thing is, I do think that we are going to see a wick down first, and I think Monday and Tuesday might be a down day before you see a huge push up. The reason being, if you kind of look now on the daily chart here, you have a green day, a bullish day, but as you can tell here, it's lower. It's lower by quite a bit. So lower highs and then lower lows here. Actually, the lower low is lower than the last 3 days. So I think that we will see a continuation. Maybe touch the 1250 level, or maybe even the 1200s level. Actually, what would be a good way to do this? You might see something like this, but in red, and then like one little wick down, just like really to push the price down. But then you'll see a huge quick rebound, and that's one thing I think if you are swing trading currencies, you're looking for, is that huge sell-off, because you know the supply is there unless something drastic or fundamentals have changed. That this level is not going to be broken at all. This is a pretty strong level. So I do see that, judging by the daily candlesticks, that you're going to see a push down, and then you'll see it go back up and head to maybe the 1400s level up here, or even higher. until that wick on the weekly wick anyways. So looking at the 4 hours here. So looking at the 4 hours here, we do have a little bit of a trend line. We have we do see some buying pressure. Although, yeah, like I mentioned on the daily, we created a new lower high and a lower low. And a lower low that was lower than a few days ago, too. So we're going to probably anticipate something like, what can I say?
Whoops. Yo, go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of have like this upper channel, too.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like you're going to get like something like that.
Yeah. And actually, yeah. So I was kind of looking like, so either it's gonna go like that, or it's gonna do a push down. And I think the candlestick you might see something like this.
Yeah, big liquidity grab or a wick.
Yeah, really push down. You know, hit maybe the 1250s or even around the 12. Let's see, this area right here. Sharp drop down, and then you'll see a quick rebound above this kind of trend line upwards trend line, and then you'll see that continuation for the bigger move ahead here. But yeah, you're looking at some type of candlestick like this, which really, if you do see this candlestick, it's definitely, I would say, is a huge indicator that a big reversal is going to happen at that point. So, yeah, for swing traders, or if you're seeing this on the intraday level, definitely a good opportunity there. Now, going kind of to the hourly, I mean, from 4 hours kind of to the lower time frames, you're going to see some of a close resemblance of this. Obviously, we're going to be trading within the 30-minute, 50-minute, and the hour time frame. That's typically what I like to use for trading in those 3 hours a day. But I think the main outlook analysis really comes from the daily and the weekly. So kind of just a recap of what I mentioned before is that on the weekly side, I think it's going to be a bullish week, but I do see definitely a wick lower and a liquidity grab before it's going to push up higher, because right now we are at a resistance level, weekly resistance level here. We have made a higher wick, so odds are the probabilities is that it is going to go higher, maybe 100 pips or so. But before the 100 pips, anytime you have a big move to one direction, you always have somewhat of a quick, smaller move to the opposite direction, like we mentioned before, a liquidity grab before it heads up higher. And that's something I think we'll see protruding through this trend line we drew. We'll go back to the daily here, maybe back down to here. Yeah, so 1250 levels, or maybe even a bit lower. Tap this buy level area, supply area, and then you'll see a push up here, and then I think it's definitely going to cover this, at least this wick here, or maybe above to the 1400 levels for the next week. And anything else you want to add there, Sim?
I like it. If you are the weekly real quick.
Yeah.
So the one thing is, right, like kind of have like this little area, this demand area, but as you can just like base it off these candlesticks right here, they're going higher and higher, right? So what I'm expecting is, you're right, so the price closed about here. You might get like a little wick down. I don't know if it's gonna break this week's low from the previous last week, but I do expect it to go down, and especially like depending on how the US dollar is too, with the data coming up. Yeah. So if it is bad data, weaker US dollar on Tuesday, so Monday, I think Monday's gonna be a down day.
Yeah.
But then after that, if Tuesday is a bad data and Thursday is a bad data, then you could see that weekly close bullish. Yeah. Is what I'm thinking too.
And it's actually a really good point that you brought up there. So what happens? So we always, our mentality is always to be nimble. So what we would definitely be looking for, if it does happen, I'm kind of touching on Simmer's point, is that if it does create a new lower low on the weekly time frame, my target's going to definitely be around this area again, because then, or maybe even lower, because if you look at right here, this whole area is very clean traffic.
Clean traffic, yeah. That's
clean traffic. Right. And then if you do see a break in this level right here around the 1160 level, you're definitely going to see a clean traffic down. And that would form a double top here. No, actually, not even a double top, a triple top.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's the
But yeah,
demand
it'll
zone
be definitely
too.
a double top here, and then yeah, it's clean traffic. Now, of course, that's if the U.S. dollar is going to get stronger, right? So if, let's just say, good economic data, all that stuff, yeah, you could definitely see that this go down, head higher, and go back to kind of like the COVID era kind of levels. Because everyone kind of flocks to the U.S. dollar as a safe haven in itself, right?
Yeah, basically.
So you might see it re-enter this level. Obviously, though, like we are talking about like an eternal war here between Euro and US. I was thinking about something else, like a holy war of some
Holy
sort. But yeah, like this is like a huge traffic area. No direction. I mean, direction can be both ways type of deal, right? So if we get into this level, you'll definitely see some of our trading style or our analysis change here. But you know, obviously, the easiest to trade is if it just trends in one direction, and then you just pick the good entry points and stuff and go with the trend. Right?
Yeah. Plus, like,
But,
yo, the safest sells. So you have this supply zone. I like that. This is like, let me undo that. So you have like this demand zone. This is a supply zone. The safest sells, I think, is below this level. That's the safest sell. So if it does break below that, that's gonna be the safest sells. But no, I agree. It is in a bullish structure because if you go to the daily real quick, there's one thing I noticed on daily or hourly. Sorry. It was one of those. Go to the 4 hour. Remember I saw it. Yeah, zoom in a little bit. That's it. A little bit out. Just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So you have this consolidation area, right? So you have this whole consolidation. It kind of bounces here, but when you get the break at this point right here, you kind of could see the bullish structure forming. You get like a high above this high, a higher low. So this is a higher low compared to this point, and you kind of go higher highs and higher lows. And right now you're over here. So if you do see a sell below this, you could have a sell, play level to level. But if it does continue this kind of bullish structure upwards, you could just see price go like that, just straight upwards again.
Yeah.
But to keep it more clean, that one thing I drew. So if I had to draw it real quick, you kind of have higher highs and higher lows right now.
Yeah.
And it kind of follows this trend. So any break below here, I think would be a sell. But if it does respect and continue this bullish market structure upwards, you're gonna have room for buys, which I think is more likely.
Yeah.
To be honest, but yeah, like chance I'd be nimble, be safe.
Yeah. And like kind of what Simmer says, yeah, I could definitely imagine it break, let's just say this mini level, and then you'll see a huge sharp because we have that consolidation phase that you just pointed out here on the 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
This level here, you can definitely see like a candlestick down here, and then it just comes back up, and then it's just basically this.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Like just a huge hits the supply area and boom, pops back up. Then that will confirm our long bias and our weekly bias is going to hold. In some sense, right? Because now we've created that weekly lower wick and we have tons of orders up in the higher areas over here. So, perfect. Let's anything else you want to add?
No, I think that was pretty good on Euro. I mean, it's quick, easy. I feel like with Euro or like any FX pairs, the analysis is like quicker, just for the fact that you kind of have like well-defined levels, not as much fundamentals into it, but like there's a lot of technicals, a lot of computer trading with it. But yeah, no, you have those levels quite defined, supply resistance, so looks pretty good. It is a bullish structure right now.
Yeah.
So if it does continue its bullish structure, you could see easy buys to 114, like you said. The only sells are going to be if it breaks that bullish structure or below the weekly candles too.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So now for the pound CAD. So here's pound CAD's weekly chart here. So here we've seen a supply area here, and it's bounced off that quite high. What I also like to see here is, if you kind of notice here, there's some subtle differences here and here. So
the one thing with pound CAD, it kind of like wicks up and down past levels and then continues like a direction it wants to go in. That's what
totally agree. So this, so you have the first established weekly kind of support in around October of last year, and then it's kind of in between the 78 to the 68 levels. You have the, of course, crash, COVID crash, oil crash, all that fun stuff here. And then oil rebounding, all that fun stuff. So down, up here. Actually, I think oil is kind of around here. The rebound of oil is kind of around the April to May month. So that's why you see a little bit of a decline of the British CAD. But one thing I just want everyone to kind of notice is that, like, compared to this area here, high volatility, high emotionally driven here, compared here. Obviously, the volatility's dropped a bit significantly, but also it's established a nice higher low. And if you kind of look at the weekly here, you have two, like, typically if you have two green candlesticks, you're going to expect, unless market structure's broken, you're at a resistance or support level, that it's going to continue. Now right here, this is a huge consult, like basically for a month between middle of May to June of May, you have this like upper supply area, or demand area. Nope, supply area. Supply up here. Wow. Sorry, now I realize I used the wrong word for EURUSD. It should have been demand area, not supply.
Same thing.
Reverse.
Reverse it.
Yeah, so then you have a really big supply area, a lot of sell orders here. But if you look at here, this is just really nice weekly candlestick. You have the first bullish candlestick. It's finding support and made a new higher high compared to the huge drop, bearish drop here. And then you have one, of course, this is kind of an iffy one. You have a higher high, but you also have a lower low. So that's an iffy, like, kind of candlestick based off your next weekly. But my goodness, the last week's candlestick is basically first forms above this whole upper channel, so you know that these buys are solid. And then of course you're expecting a continuation, because this is the third day. So typically if it breaks off of this, if you're playing momentum wise, I mean, it's a clean break up until here, honestly.
Yeah, I could see it like up there eventually.
Yeah. So then that's like another 200 pips of upwards movement it has. And this weekly candlestick just proved that, yeah, there are orders, people want to. And one more thing I want to suggest, I think if Simmer's going to be doing the pound USD,
and USDCAD,
pound has been really strong lately. All pound pairs have been really strong. Or just the pound currency in itself has been pretty strong. So do I expect it to be bullish? Yeah, I do expect it to be bullish. I do expect the weekly candlestick to reach this level next week or maybe 2 weeks. But you're probably going to see, I'm going to say an 80% chance that next week, like on a Monday and Tuesday, you'll see the lower wick hit this supply area. And then you'll see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, continuation up to this area. And this, I think, is a better setup on a weekly scale than the Euro USD, because, for example, there is a lower wick and a higher wick. Perfect candle. This is the situational candle that you want to see. Upper and lower wicks, you know that there's orders there. You had a very, very nice body, and this body surpassed the last month and a half.
Yeah, yo, that's one thing I was looking at, is like, so it looks really nice. You have this lower wick, so you have orders being grabbed down here.
Yeah.
But you're right, yeah, this body just finished above like all these wicks.
So beautiful. And you have that upper wick too.
That's actually one of the cleaner ones, dude.
If you're like better than Euro USD in my opinion. So
yeah, like you said, see a lower wick like that to start the week.
and then just load it up. Especially if you're a swing trader, that's just an ideal setup for you.
Yeah, that I think
200 pips. What's your risk going to be really? I would say it would be like around here, just in case there is going to be a wick that, you know, the liquidity grab that pushes the price down here. But then you'll see this is a way better setup. Like you'll see probably a drive back up to the price. So like, yeah, stop around here below kind of these bodies, these previous bodies of the candlestick. Is a safer bet, so around like below the 70s level. So if you're trading, let's just say, you probably could get a 1.5. Let's just say if you open right at the start of tomorrow, you could probably get a 1.5 RR on this trade, just because your stop would be here and there's a 200 pip move up here. But of course, if you're patient, and I think it's ideal to wait for like entries around like the 70-50 levels, or maybe a little bit below, because I think it will tap in this zone, this demand zone, and then it's a shoot right back up. Because obviously someone's there, some big players are there, and they're potentially, it's going to push the price back up at this level. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised kind of with this setup and how strong this is, that you're going to see a push up to this level too. It could easily, this is like a mini resistance, but it could easily break this. The reason being is like, you have a nice candlestick like this, and then it's always followed by another nice candlestick like this, because it did push back up. So here, let's measure this. I always like to use previous candlesticks as a measurement of what you're going to be expecting for the next candlestick, and then obviously be conservative. So this is like a, oh, holy smokes. This is a 600 pip move. You're not really going to expect that because we were in more volatile times back in March, right?
Insane in March.
Then you look at the next candlestick and kind of see, okay, how much did this candlestick move? Let's see here. A little less, 500 pips, right? So if you look at kind of like the range of this candlestick, a 300 pip candlestick, if we were being more conservative, I'm going to say, what, a 200 pip candlestick.
Yeah, I was going to say 200 pips, man.
What this area is, right? Because from here to here, that's less than 200 pips. So yeah, you're gonna see a tap here to this demand level, and then go to the supply. So from here to here, roughly 250 pips less than this 300 pip move. It's more conservative, and obviously could be even bigger than this candlestick, because if we're playing with momentum, simply that the next candlestick might be the huge driver up, right? This was just the build up, the setup that everyone was kind of anticipating and waiting for. So you might see a drive up here. So I think this is a very possible play out. I'm going to be looking out for the pound CAD. I think is a better play out than Euro USD, but of course with Forex and with people trading the markets, anything can happen. But yeah, this is definitely on the weekly side of things. Looks beautiful. Anything to add on this, Simon?
No, I like it. That level, I think it was whatever the green zone was, the first one. That's going to be the safest. Let's say it does open lower, then continues higher. A break above 172. You play 172 to like 173. That's going to be the easiest 100 pips of your life.
Yeah, easy.
I think so. Because like 172 was a high last week, right?
Yeah.
So if you want like easy buys, that's it. But if you want like more risky, you wait for the lower weekly wick to form, and then you kind of enter there and kind of hold it on. But there's still like, I was just looking quickly at the news. There's like some high volatility for pound. There's GDP, CPI, and then you have the CAD interest rates on Wednesday too. So that might just be the drivers to push it up too. You never know.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with that. And like, yeah, definitely the safest bet is a break higher than the previous wick here. So let's just say you put your orders here, 72.20, for example. Like, that's easy. Even if you're being conservative, this is an easy 90 pips or 80 pips. Like, just straight momentum. But obviously, I would prefer, if I'm going to be a swing, like entering wise, like on the swing trading scale, some orders around here, because my risk will have been reduced and the reward's just so much greater up to here. So, all right, let's look at the daily here. Now we have the levels like built over here. So, like I said, you have this first. It's just great to see this because daily we're building to something great, and you see that right here the markets did tap this area beforehand, and this did actually. Let's look at the mini side here. So they are like a little bit of demand. Supply here. You see previously on the beginning of June, this market capped it here and just couldn't sustain the bullish momentum, and then it tapped lower to a greater supply, right? Always think of this as a war between supply and demand, and supply double bottom, beautiful double bottom daily setup here, and then you have the drive up here. But Kev, if we look at the weekly scale, you always need something of a greater push down before you get a greater push up like here. And you see that. Before, when it first attempted to go up here, this was the down push that couldn't be sustained, liquidity grab, let's just say, and then you get the push up, right? But then there's supply here, supply here. So then you get a bigger push down. But guess what? Supply in this level is this level, like this has been what? Since November. So we're almost talking about 9 months. A 9-month level. Is it 9 months? No, sorry, I'm going crazy here. Like a 7-month level here, and then obviously the supply is greater here. People don't think it's going to go down lower, so if it can't go down lower, where else is it going to go? Up. You have a push down here, and then it creates that kind of grab for liquidity, and we're talking about institutions here that are buying billions and billions of dollars here. It's not a small amount. As retail investors, we want to go with the flow of where the smart money is going to go, and the smart money, they can't hide, like, no matter how hard they try, they can hide their orders, they can try to trick you into things, but like when this forms here, the weekly candlestick forms like that, that's showing their hand that like a lot of the players are in, they're locked in on the longs, right? They probably got the prices around this area here, but they're locked in. So then like if no one else is selling, there's only the majority or the herd, let's just say, is like thinking like, okay, then, or not the herd, but where the smart money has their money placed and stuff, like the retail investor ain't gonna break this level down. It has to take another big player or a few big players or governments to decide to push this price down. But honestly, I'm just saying 90% chance that next week is gonna be, actually I'm gonna even up, well, yeah, 90% is gonna be an up week, unless of course fundamental, if we have unexpected news, right? If everything's according, let's just say news follows what is forecasted, then yes, you're gonna expect to see a long move. But if you see something expected for the pound that's like not good for the pound, and then you get another news that it's good for CAD, we had better than expected news, then you'll see maybe definitely a push downwards, and then you'll see maybe a direction heading back to the zone until new news comes out, and it's either good for the pound side or neutral within lines of forecast, because then it's already been predicted. Then you'll probably see another consolidation phase. But yeah, I'm gonna say 90% that I'm long biased here. Anything else to add on the daily, weekly?
No, I like it. I like how the daily tapped into this 172 area.
Yeah.
A little bit below. Where's my annotation?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. So it like, whoops, wrong one.
Okay, Simmer, I get it.
Let me clear all the drawings. Yeah. Arrow. Wait, where's the drawing arrow? There it is. So you have like this area here, taps into it here too, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking, like I said earlier, the 172 break above here, that's gonna be the easiest buys. Test this level to this level, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think it was pretty good analysis. Like, I am bullish on it, unless like the unexpected news comes in, like you said too.
Yeah.
Where it could just like push the price down. But I think that's like highly unlikely, just considering how the market structure is forming. You get a break above there, it's pretty safe. But yeah, like Monday, Tuesday, I think you get a little sell off back into the supply or the support level, and then continue momentum upwards. So it looks pretty good, to be honest. I'm probably gonna play it too.
Kind of touching also on the point, like the news aspect as well. So if you guys kind of just break it down to like probabilities wise, right? There's 3 outcomes for news. There is, it's better than expected, it's what they expected, and it's worse than expected, right? Now, if you think about it this way too, what is expected and what's better than expected, for let's just say for the pound, right? So, like I said, pound has been strong across all forex pairs. So your odds of the news playing out is that if it's good for the pound and if it's what's expected of the pound news, okay? That means that already that's a 66% chance if they're all equally weighted, that this is going to go higher. Now, the only time I'm going to say is that pound produces a number that's worse than expected, is that's when you're going to see something. But if it's in line or better than expected, you're going to even see, if it's better than expected, you're going to see a bigger push up, maybe to this level up or here. If it's as expected, yeah, you'll still see a continuation to this 173 level. But then if it's worse than expected, yeah, you're going to probably see the price getting driven back to the 68 area. That's kind of what my take is. But odds are in your favor, essentially, is what I'm trying to do. Especially even with the news outcome.
Yeah, the odds are in our favors.
Yeah.
So like,
because if you take CAD, for example, if it's better than expected, but pound is already strong, it's not going to do as much damage.
No.
If it's just in line with what people are expecting, it's not going to do anything because people already knew about it. If it's worse than expected, then yeah, it's going to be another driver for the pound to go higher.
Yeah.
Pound CAD to go higher.
No, I still think it's bullish, just based off weekly, dude. I think like even the daily setup, you kind of have the weekly setup, but if you go to daily, daily's setting up quite nice because you have kind of this break above here from the last week, right? But now you have a pretty crazy weekly bullish close. So even if the next candle kind of like breaks below here, that's all right. The sells are going to be below these two. But other than that, if it respects these levels, then you could see a continued momentum upwards.
Oh, 100%.
And then if it breaks up to here, full leverage or your count. No,
we're okay. Now we have to make a risk management video there.
I was just playing never full margin your account. But no, for real, if it breaks above here, I think it does like have 100% potential right there. So.
But yeah, so that's my my weekly outlook for EURUSD and pound CAD there.
Nice. I'm gonna do pound USD and USDCAD.
Sure.
You guys stop sharing, and then I'll share my screen.
Okay, sounds good.
Share. So let's go to USDCAD first. So like it's like pound CAD. It's against the Canadian dollar. So they're both technically against the Canadian dollar. Going from a monthly, you have this crazy move up in March when oil was crashing, devaluing the Canadian dollar to like nothing really when oil hit like $0. It made the Canadian dollar pretty much worthless. But as you can see, as oil recovered, Canadian dollar recovered, price of USD CAD dropped, CAD was getting stronger. Now you're kind of in like a mini consolidation phase. So if you look on the weekly now, well, actually, let's go monthly. Let's do a quicker analysis. You have this liquidity grab. You have another liquidity grab. It's kind of like going bullish right now to start off the month. So when you go to the weekly, you have this level at about 136.90, 130. I'm gonna say 137 psychological levels that the price could go to. The daily, yeah, you have this zone at the bottom right here, right? So you have this zone at the bottom, and right now it's tapped in this upper zone. So right now, a break above this area is going to indicate further bullish momentum and buys. But just like pound CAD, right? You have a weekly, this is a bullish close. It's not, you have a bearish close the previous week, but right now, in my opinion, you're kind of creating a consolidation phase right now. This is the start of a consolidation. Like this right here, this is trend. This is trend. This is consolidation. This right here, I think that's consolidation as well. It's starting to create. And if you could identify potential consolidations before they actually happen, then, or anticipate consolidations before they happen, you're gonna save yourself a lot of headache. Because then you won't be chasing the trend, but you can leave runners. You could get out you're positioned for take profit and leave runners for potential breaks, but other than that, you can expect to see consolidation. When you go to the daily, it's kind of is in a consolidation in a daily. You have this upper range. I do think it will test this upper range eventually, just considering how the structure looks on this. But let's say it just kind of rejects over here on the top part of the range. Whoops, I was supposed to go to my arrow. So if it kind of rejects this area to start the week and pushes down, you could see this area being respected. Any break below this area is going to be easy sells from these levels. But if it stays within this range of consolidation, you could just see a bounce at the bottom end of the range and then going up maybe midweek. And that actually aligns with the pound CAD analysis as well, because we said that pound CAD might have a lower weekly wick. So that might be driven by the CAD, it might be driven by other factors. You also have the Canadian interest rates on Wednesday as well, so that's going to be a big driver of the price of pairs against the Canadian dollar. So there's a lot of factors that go into there. I think the safest buys are going to be above this level. I think 136.31, 35 safe buys for about 50 pips. And I think that'll happen on Wednesday, just considering how Friday closed. You have a rejection up here, so it closed around 135.90. Any break below 135.72, you're going to see the lower weekly wick start to form, and then maybe eventually you're going to have a bullish move up. That's exactly what it did last week as well. It opened up, had a move upwards, but then it created a lower weekly wick. So the price action, I think, is in a consolidation phase right now, but we should see bullish momentum to close the week. We have rejection here. We might see bearish to start the week and then bullish to close the week. But we'll just be playing price action, intraday price action, just because if it breaks the previous day's low, you have a pretty clean move for about 70 pips, even if you catch 50 pips of that to the lower end of the range. Still a good day.
It's still a great day, yeah. I agree.
And even if you look on the 4 hour now, it even looks even better when you go lower time frame. You have this range at the top, rejects 1, 2, 3 times, break below this range, clean traffic. That is like the cleanest traffic I've seen down on the 4 hour. So yeah, we're gonna be playing that. Break above here, clean traffic up here. So it's just about clean traffic. You don't want to be stuck in what our mentor Raja calls goat shit.
Goat shit, yeah.
No one wants to
the
be
goat
stuck.
range.
Yeah.
Goat shit range.
No one wants to be stuck in goat shit range. You want to play levels, you want to play breaks, you want to play retest, etc. But you don't want to be stuck in goat shit range. Like you wouldn't want to trade this right here when instead you could trade this right here. Yeah, that.
Yeah, just clean.
So, but yeah, for USD CAD, just considering weekly's bullish, but daily and 4 hours looking like it kind of rejected up here. So if it does start to sell off, you could see the price push down a little bit before creating support and sticking in that consolidation. I'm anticipating it being in a consolidation just based off how it looks and like how USD CAD moves. You have like, let me go back on the daily trend up, consolidation on the highs, move down, consolidation, little move down, and then this goat shit consolidation. But then after that, after it broke support, you have a big move trend down. So right now I think it's back in that consolidation area, but obviously playing how price action gives you. Break below the levels, sell. Break above the levels, buys. Depending how the CAD interest rates are, could see continued momentum, bullish momentum higher. But let's say the Canadian economy ain't too bad. Like they've handled coronavirus pretty well. I think they keep interest rates generally low, but if it's as expected, it won't really do much to the Canadian dollar. Like if there's a surprise raise, which I doubt, then it'll strengthen the Canadian dollar, pushing the price down. If there's a surprise cut, weaken the Canadian dollar, pushing it up. But as of right now, it's in a consolidation. I'll look at the US dollar in a second too. I have it on the watch list as DXY. That's the US dollar. But other than that, I do feel like we're in a consolidation range, and pretty much break below here, clean traffic down. If it does form like a support, let's say price does something like this at the lows, you buy on the break. Look how easy that trade is on the 1 hour, right? When it breaks, just buy.
What
Get
time
it.
is that too?
That was at 8 o'clock.
Oh man, that's nice.
So after that break, even lower here, like if you go to the 7 o'clock candle as it starts to go up, literally get out one position here, and then this is your runner. That runner is like sexy. Right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, play it based off that. You have these levels. It's pretty easy, I think, for USDCAD. It kind of has these fake outs too, especially like July 8th, you kind of have a move up, but this is when both US and Canadian markets were closed. It was at midnight, so both markets were closed. So yeah, you're gonna get those fake outs. That's computers just basically taking profit or taking money from like average Joes. Because in any sense, that is a buy, but when both markets are closed at midnight, it ain't a buy. So that was a quick breakdown on USDCAD. Now, if we go to pound USD, pretty sure this has been bullish just from like watching it. As you can see, it had this big move down since Brexit. It's been down, but even on the monthly, massive zone here. And then there's another zone up here. Obviously, these levels are pretty far away, about 700 pips. On the monthly, you're not going to see that volatility unless there's like some crazy good news.
That's insane.
What? What's insane?
This.
Yeah.
That's
March.
That's two. No, that's actually 3 rowdy weeks. The first initial bearish, and then the second one, and then the reversal.
Yeah, that is like
that's insane, man.
1,700 pips, and then reversal.
You don't see that often. Like look to your left. Like you don't see that often.
No, that's when the coronavirus started to hit. The volatility can make or break you. I have a lesson about that. I might put a video up on it. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, that move is insane. When you go down to the weekly, as you can see, is bullish. Last week was strong bullish. Week before bullish. Pound has just been bullish in general. You have this level up here, 126.86. Kind of tapped into it, but any break above that, you're gonna see this weekly wick filled, and that weekly wick coincides with this level zone right here. Yeah, which is actually quite nice, to be honest. Or yeah, if in 127, you have this other area, this resistance previously over here. So you're gonna see a lot of traffic in this area. But I wouldn't be looking at sells in general. Maybe to start the week, I'd be looking at sells just based off liquidity grabs or like structure. Right now, it's in a bullish momentum upwards on the daily. Previous 2 days, so you have kind of a indecision day on Friday and then a bearish on Thursday. You could see price kind of retest. So you have a breakout. This is one of the trades I played earlier in the week. We had a breakout. I got the breakout, and then like I said, I wait for a retest and then continue bullish move up. So you have a breakout here on the daily, and it works on every time frame. So if you have a breakout on daily, you might see a retest here, and this retest is going to form the lower weekly wick and then see a bullish momentum upwards to test that level. That's one thing I'll be looking for on pound USD. It coincides with pound CAD, everything basically on our analysis of a lower weekly wick. But we want to be nimble too, right? If it does continue upwards, it continues upwards.
Yeah.
But you can see it stopped here. There was a level here. Now that I've noticed, there's a reason why it stopped there. You get these wicks over here, but you see it continue move upwards, and it's good to go. Even on the 4 hour, you can see breakout, retest, boom. So still on an uptrend. If price action does what it typically does, you're going to see a lower weekly wick, retest about 125, mid 125s, continue move upwards. But let's say it does start breaking levels, and then this next week coming up starts going bearish. Got to be aware of that and play those cells as well. Other than that, pound USD is pretty simple. You have a double top. You can see break below these levels, retest this. This area of contention was huge. I got this long, waited for the retest, and I got this long too. But if you just take this exact same chart right here and move it to the daily, it's basically that daily chart. You have the breakout on this daily that just happened. So you're gonna see a retest possibly on the daily, and then a breakout as well. But if it starts breaking levels, then yeah, we'll get into sells. Like if it starts breaking this level, for example, that's a clean sell down here. But I expect it to retest here, maybe have like chance it on EURUSD, one of those crazy wicks it has,
Yeah.
and then continued upwards. Other than that, I think it's pretty simple on pound USD. It is on a bullish uptrend though, I have to say that. There's like no indication for sells. It's been pretty bullish for a while. We've been playing
Yeah.
buys have been a lot easier on pound USD or any pound pairs. So yeah, no, that's about it on all the pairs. Anything to add on anything?
No, you did a great analysis. I totally agree with that. I mean, I think for next week, the main drivers is going to be what that news event. Pounds is it? Are they cutting rates?
No, pound doesn't have it. They have like CPI and GDP.
Yeah. So, though you'll see those as a main driver, but well, I mean, besides that, if it's in line or as expected, yeah, I think that you'll just see a continuation of what the current move is. The only time you're going to see a sudden change or swift in how the pairs trade is if you have some fundamental news that's not good.
Yeah, basically. So
that's it. Yeah,
that's basically. No, that was a good breakdown. Got all 4 pairs done. We're gonna be doing all 4 pairs every week now. It's quick, easy.
Yeah.
Helps us get prepared for the week. Hope it gives every viewer a chance to review it and actually trade based off of it. But now we got to do simulations coming up. If we have time, we'll do a couple days on a couple pairs, some gold, Euro USD. But thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you in a bit.
Thanks everyone. Bye.